Well. I'm sorry. I'm getting my act together. I didn't think I would be ready to. I didn't think I'd be doing a stream this morning. I forgot all about it. Good morning, everybody. Until I get my act together here. There we go. The link is up if anybody wants to join in. Just let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm not going to be able to live stream the press conference, but I'll be listening. Maybe I'll have the audio. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Just wanted to come on here. All right, cool. I was going to go to the gym, and I'm like, I'll go to the gym in a little bit. What's going on? Who do we got in here? I just I took care. What's up, Jimbo? Isaac Ramirez, Game Time. Clemente, what's going on? What's up, Chris Wise? What's up, Game Time? I believe we were going to be worse than we have been in a long time. Yeah, I don't think so, Chris. I think we're going to be about the same. I think we'll be better than we were this year, and maybe not as good as 12 wins. So that's what I'm thinking. Rolo, what's going on? Vinny Hagan, what's going on? What's up, Crowley? Jimbo, Flip Shelton, West Virginia country boy. Listen, Isaac Ramirez. Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. So I have it up, but I have it muted. Again, I could do that. It's just when I go to share the screen, it's going to be an issue. So I'm not going to be allowed to do that. But we can listen in periodically. I'm going to have it in my ear. What I'll do is I'll play the audio. Now, Randy, if you're watching on your phone, you won't hear it. But CZ, just make sure, Randy, what you could do if you want is have the press conference on your TV.
Yeah, I've got it on my TV.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Just real quick, and we could talk. Randy, like you need to email me or text, or just email me because I'm
okay.
Because I'm going to do that stuff today.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, just let me know what size you are.
Okay.
And your address. So I'm going to pin my email again because I'm getting the shirts together. Unless you want a hat, I got hats. The hats are real nice, actually. I got multiple color hats. I got T-shirts, which I don't know if you want a T-shirt. I got hoodies.
I'd like a hoodie. I don't have many hoodies.
Yeah, so I'm going to put my what do you call it? I'm going to put my email in the chat right now. Sorry, I literally threw this all together in 10 minutes, so bear with me. Game Time Brian at... Because I'm back to work tomorrow. If I get them done now, I got to press them and all. So if I get them done, then I'll get them out in the mail when I go to work tomorrow. Believe it or not, I still got snow laying on the ground out here. It's just ridiculous. It's just like, melt away. But
our snow.
Yeah. Well, that's what's nice about being in a warmer climate. It's beautiful when it falls, but it don't linger.
No, it don't linger.
But who was in the chat that was? Oh, it was Chris Wise. Here's the deal, Chris. I'm not saying that we're going to the Super Bowl. Please don't take it out of context. But anytime there's a lame duck situation, you're setting yourself up for big-time failure. Anytime there's a lame duck situation, it's not good. We all know it. Then you compound the injuries, right? You compound everything. Sometimes young is good. We already have a infusion of youth. But ultimately, it's going to come down to free agency and if they step in the waters. You know, Randy, I've been blown up on my phone with various people with the same kind of sentiments as Chris, and I would just say this. I would just say, I can only speak for myself. Okay, I know I'm going to upset some people when it comes to Dak Prescott. I do not hate Dak Prescott. I just want everybody to understand. But I hold him to a different standard now. Sorry, I do. You're the highest paid player in the league. Open your mouth. Maybe not to the level of a Michael Irvin, but open your mouth when it comes to the organization. He hinted at Randy at a possible move or two or whatever. He did. He said he let it slip. What's up, Flip Shelton? He let it slip about a free agency, and it would send the message or allude to the fact that he had a talk with Jerry. So I don't know, but I just ask everybody this: what's up, Crowley? What sense does it make to spend $16 million on a quarterback if you don't want to win on some level? It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. What's up, League Commander? How are you? Ultra Cowboys in the house. I put the link up there if you want to join. I don't know how your internet is, Ultra. It's on the community tab. You should have gotten an email. I think you guys get emails when I send that. All right, here they go. They're walking up to the I'm going to play the audio. I'm going to play the audio, but I'm not going to share the screen.
We got the big room.
You got the big room. He's talking shoddy. Let me know if it's too loud or not loud enough. What's up, Vinny? How are you, brother? I'll have everybody know I just spent another $400 and some odd dollars ordering. We designed a tumbler. I could use the tumblers more than the coffee cup. Like, I have a coffee cup inside.
Me too.
But when you hit the road, so I'll have them up on the site soon. I just ordered them, so it'll probably take a week to get in, but I'll try and keep them as low as possible. Probably $29.99 for like a 20-ounce tumbler, but it's got the logo on it. I think it looks pretty nice, actually. But Stephen Jones and Shoddy chopping it up right now. We're watching them. Let's see how they spin this, everybody. Hopefully everybody's watching on their own. I cannot share it.
All righty, I think we're ready to
go.
Ain't
no way they could spin this in any way.
Everybody.
Those
Thanks
fucking
for coming
cocksuckers, man. I'm getting
Monday
tired
morning,
of them.
here to the Star in Frisco.
I'm tired of these
I'd like to
I'm so
introduce
tired of these bastards, man.
Participants here on the stage, who everybody knows, of course.
I'd rather
Cowboys
I miss
owner,
old
president,
Rich
and general
Dalrymple
manager Jerry
spying on the
Jones.
cheerleaders. Can you guys hear it?
Our new Dallas Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer. And Chief Operating Officer, Executive Vice President of Player Personnel.
All right, thanks, Rolo.
And co-owner, Stephen Jones.
I don't got the patience to chat with you today.
Yeah,
we'll clap for you.
Now, what we'd like to start off with is some remarks from our head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. And then we'll follow that up with questions.
Thank you, Tad. First of all, I'd like to thank Jerry, Miss Jean, Stephen, Charlotte, Jerry Jr., the entire Jones family. Over the past 3 years that I've been here, it's been really incredible to get to know them. But I would say really over the past 4 or 5 days, as we've spent a lot of hours together, that I really realized why this organization, but most importantly, this family is so special. So incredible opportunity. And I look forward to working so closely with the entire family in continuing the legacy and tradition of this football team and the special brand that it has. I'm honored and privileged to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I'd like to just talk briefly about some of the people that we're looking for. And there's a lot of those young men in the back of the room here that, as you guys will learn from me, the Schottenheimers tend to be criers. And that just means we show our emotions. And so the type of people we're looking for that are modeled by a lot of the young men in the back that I will talk directly to them in a minute is just a special group. We're looking for world-class competitors, guys that want to compete every day to be the best versions of themselves.
On your own?
We are looking for people with a relentless
I can't hear it, but I'm
work
listening.
I'm
real
saying,
low.
like,
I
you're
was taught
listening
at a
to
young
it, right?
age by my
Yes,
father
I-
that you can outwork people in this business. You don't belong in this organization if you don't value relationships. This business has never been about X's and O's. It's about people. And when I thought about it, I can't imagine sitting up here with a better group of people, a better family to do this with. So I thank you guys for that opportunity. And lastly, the type of people that we want.
Let's get the
People
gleam.
that
All
love
right,
this
let's
game.
go.
The game of football has given me so much, my family so much, but if you're not passionate about the game of football and the shield and what it represents, then you're probably in the wrong line of business.
Well,
To our players, the core of this program, and we will focus to Dak, JT, JB, Demo, Brock, T-Sizz, Josh Butler, Kalen, Carson, Scooney, you're back there. I don't know if anybody else snuck in that I missed. It means the world to me that you guys are here. And I can't wait to do this alongside you, to get to know you guys at an even deeper level. I want to get to know your hearts. I want to capture your hearts and let you guys get a great feel for me. But thank you for being here. It means the world to me. Quickly about culture, things that
what I would say, lead commander, it's the same thing. If you watch my video, it's the same situation under Nick Sirianni when he came to the Eagles. He still gets shit, but what are they doing? They're winning. It ultimately comes down to your GM.
fun. My conversation with the Joneses has been incredible. We see football the same way. It's a first-class organization all the way. You can't. I've never been in the big room, Jerry. Stephen, I've never been in the big room. But it's a first-class organization. But please understand this. A first-class organization is not just about the structure or the walls. It's about the way that we treat one another, about the way that we earn each other's trust and respect.
We got to talk, I guess, because people are
and the
going
way
to
we
watch
just
this over.
treat our fans. We treat the people that matter to us most.
Let me see if I can share it a little
What
bit.
I'm going to challenge these guys to do is to let their personalities shine. We've got some incredible, incredible players. We've got incredible support staff. The strength staff is here. That means the world to me. You guys took the time to come up here. But to do what we need to do, it's going to take incredible amounts of hard work, but we're going to do it together. Our team, the Dallas Cowboys, will be driven by a competitive spirit and a love for one another. Lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't thank my family. It's been an incredible journey. I've had some opportunities when I was a much younger man that I didn't feel like I was ready. I'm ready now.
Unlike Sirianni, this
I know what I
guy
want. I
comes
know what
from
it
a
looks
family
like.
of
But
winning.
for you guys that have been
So-
with me the whole time, my extended
that in
family, I
mind,
love you.
Wade.
Thank you for being here.
His
To
father
my
was a
sister
should be
who
a Hall
couldn't
of
be
Fame
here,
coach.
Kristen. I know she's watching.
Sirianni came
She
there
probably
as a
has
raw,
on my dad's
young
Schottenheimer jersey.
coordinator who doesn't call the plays. This guy's way more qualified than Nick Sirianni was when he
To my
took
wife,
over
Jim.
the Eagles. Won a national championship in college as the
It's been an
OC.
incredible journey.
Again,
Lots of ups, lots and downs.
how's he going to do? I have no idea.
You've always been by my side.
None.
You're my best friend, and I love you more than you know.
I'm happy for the guy.
To my kids,
They've already
Sutton and
disrespected him. They
Savannah,
literally did a
thank
dump
you
on
for
a
the
Friday to
sacrifice that
announce
you
the
made
coach. Like they
to
got
allow me to pursue
I hear you,
my
but it's
dream.
not his fault.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. No,
are
no,
my
I'm not
his
blaming
father,
him. No,
Drew.
I'm not
His
mad at
father.
him.
Marty
Not mad at
Schottenheimer, do you
him.
remember him?
To my mom,
Great coach. Look up his stats.
one of the
Drew.
first ladies of pro football.
This isn't the day to.
When I saw her
Good for you
last
to
night
run
and I
your
had
mouth,
a chance
bro.
to embrace her, she said,
Don't be
"Baby,
that guy.
you did it. I love you."
I'm
And in
comparing him to
closing
Nick
my
when Nick
remarks,
was hired.
There's
at
one
first.
person that's not here
Drew,
today,
Get a clue, or hit
but
the
I'd
road.
be remiss if I didn't mention him. My father was a
He won a lot of
legendary
games.
coach.
Look up his number, Bobby.
great man.
If anyone
he's an
thinks
incredible
Marty
father.
Schottenheimer was a bad coach, you are a
And he's
fucking
impacted me more
idiot
than
and you
anyone
don't
in this
know
profession.
football. I'm gonna call you out right
I know
now.
he's looking
Bobby
down on me.
Murphy.
I know he's proud.
Fucking idiot. Go back and watch NFL films
And
and
I miss
history.
him very much.
Golly.
That's what I'm saying. This is what.
But I know what he'd say to me.
Again, I'm not saying he's going to be
He'd say,
great.
"Brian,
His dad
The
was
easy part
highly
is over.
respected.
I'm not saying he's going to be great. What I am saying is, when Nick Sirianni came in from Indianapolis Colts, what did he win? I'm waiting. What did he win? He was a highly regarded guy. He's. Do you know? He's been coaching forever. I guess you don't watch my videos, Drew. I laid it out. He's been an offensive coordinator in many spots. He won a national championship at the University of Florida. He comes very well credited. We're all not happy because it's not who we want. We're not saying he's going to win, but don't come in here and shitting on him. I'm saying if you look at the video I did, which apparently you don't watch my videos, I compared him to Nick Sirianni. When Nick Sirianni first took over the Dallas job, when Sirianni first took over the Eagles job, it was a late hire. They were dragging their feet. The Eagles were. You had Carson Wentz. You have Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of similarities is what I'm saying.
4 or 5 years. The NFL,
Nobody's saying this is going to turn into a winning situation. We're saying I'm happy for him.
so that we can visit with prospective coaches
But the crap on Marty
for the
Schottenheimer,
future
rest in
of
peace.
my
He's
team
won a
and
lot
any
of
of the
football
teams.
games. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
in 35 years. I don't think I've ever visited with a coach, but what in my heart and mind, I wasn't having an interview. I don't think I've ever had a coach visit with me that wasn't prospectively thinking maybe someday our paths might cross.
That's a different situation,
Jones
Drew.
might give me a
That's
little
not the
thought
day
as I'm
to
along
hear
the
your
way.
rant about that. All we're talking about is
I've been around a lot of coaches.
Brian Schottenheimer and Marty.
As a matter of
That's all
fact,
we're
I wanted
talking
to be a
about. Please,
coach.
keep your arrogance just to turn it
Except
off.
I wanted to live better than I thought coaches live. I wanted to drive a little bigger car, and I wanted to fly in an airplane. Had I known what I'm paying them now, I'd have been a damn coach. But having said that,
You're a fucking idiot. You were around Tom
coaching
Landry and
is
Jimmy Johnson. Shut your
and
fucking
the
old
makeup of
ass up.
coaches are no stranger to me. On my college team,
He's
within almost 3
Jerry
years
Jones is
after we won
he's
the
lost his
national
mind.
championship, every
Yeah, he
position
has.
coach, the Johnny Majors, the Hayden Fries, the Doug Dickies, every position coach
They love
became
him,
a
man.
head
They're
coach.
terrible.
Barry
They
Switzer
love
And that color in his hair is
at,
terrible.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Oh, he looks like a clown.
So I've seen it when I was a pup.
A pup. Look, he's crying.
I
Is he
have a
dying?
great
Bro, he does
memory.
that shit every
in the
fucking
makeup
press conference.
of our
Oh,
coaches.
God, this is the next guy to get it done.
Please.
Oh, God, this is
think
the next greatest coach.
Please.
That you could make a
Please re-up
decision
your season tickets.
in an interview.
Please. So far,
and
so
not
good. I'm
have
not getting copyrighted. So
if you didn't and hadn't ever communicated or had a
Dallas don't
visit,
care as long as we're buying their shit.
I wouldn't dare have had an
talking about
interview
'em.
unless I talked to many, many.
Yeah, I won't be
people
going to any
that knew
Cowboys
that
games or
person.
Me
buying any
neither.
Cowboys shit.
And
That's
had
the
that
I'm
thing.
gonna
visit,
go on the
knew
road.
their
I might go to the
experiences,
Vegas
knew their
game.
story, if you will, Shotty. Knew their story. Pat is here today. Jean, my wife, is here. Pat
And
is
my
Shotty's
gumad,
mama.
who's sitting in the crowd,
When I served on the competition committee,
because
we
they had her in
many
the bus
times
the other night.
that we were together. Jean knew Marty. Okay, we knew you.
He's got such a damn smirk.
We
It
know
he
what
just
osmosis
agitates
is,
me
and we
looking
know
at him.
what Shotty grew up around. Not just from that, but we knew. Frankly, from the standpoint of Shotty, those X hairs crossed.
His dad was a good
Shotty
man.
might
I'll
never
say
have
that.
been
He
in our
was.
era or
Not
in our view.
I'm putting football
Had
aside.
he not
Marty
joined
was
us-
a damn good man.
Do you know what his record was in the pros? He had a 21-year NFL coaching career. He was 200 and 126 and 1. 200, 126 and 1.
Deference to experience.
That's incredible.
Guys like Zimmer, guys like got around.
I'll say this: he's probably got a great
I've watched
work
him bite
ethic.
his
He's
lip
like his
sometime when he
daddy.
didn't
His record
necessarily
with the
agree
Chiefs.
with that direction, but he bit his lip as his daddy
His
would have told
record
him
with the
to bit
Chiefs
by your-
alone was 101 and 58. 101 and 58. Again, just because you don't win a Super Bowl doesn't mean that makes you a bad coach. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm laughing.
Sirianni
At,
hasn't
guys
won
like
one.
that. And I know that Shotty is no
I'm laughing
stranger
because
to these guys.
on one of the chats, one of the guys says,
I know he's no
"Poor
stranger
Jerry
to this
doesn't even know what
building.
he's talking about. He'd
Now, I
never
get my
answered the
proverbial
question."
ass
asked
kicked.
Joe.
No, he doesn't.
Over
No,
needing
he does that a
people
lot.
in my
Again,
comfort zone.
Bobby, he hasn't won a Super Bowl. Why are we crapping
Without
on a gut?
this thing
no,
being
that's
about
a great.
me in any way.
That would be the same thing as
If you don't think I can't operate out of my comfort
Nick.
zone,
If,
you're so
if Nick
wrong.
doesn't
It's
win, you
unbelievable.
understand.
This is as big a
Look
risk
at there he
as
is,
you
Dak
could
Prescott. You better open your mouth. I'm not comparing him to Nick.
As
I'm
big
just
a risk
saying
as you could
Marty
take.
Schottenheimer,
No head
in my
coaching
opinion, was a great
experience.
coach, and in the opinion of a lot of
Let
people,
me share
Mike
something with
Lombardi,
you.
a lot of guys.
With all of that, you've just heard him reference his osmosis, his family. Anybody in this room that doesn't believe the apple doesn't go far from the tree.
Dude, the most
has missed
relevant the
it
Chargers
somewhere.
ever were is because of fucking Marty
Especially
Schottenheimer.
if there was an effort to
Yeah.
make
This
it
has
that
nothing
way, and
to
there was an
do
effort.
with Dallas winning.
But then
So
you go
don't get it
around to the countless
confused.
numbers of
We're just
coaches
saying,
that
we always
Shotty
love. I
has
love
served
Look,
on.
we're
Shotty
not. Look,
hasn't been
look,
around.
Drew.
The
No one's
countless
saying this guy's
players.
gonna be
Not true.
Marty or a great
How
head
Bobby's
coach.
lighting the
Do you
lighting
have
up.
someone that has 25,
This is what
let's say
happens. They're
25,
excited. They're in
it
the
may be
Super Bowl.
26
Now they're going to
of
shit on
years.
everybody. This is what
Who,
happens.
Bobby? What's
Working
Bobby? What's
through
Bobby
human
saying? He's
relationship,
saying Marty's a
working,
bum coach?
aspiring to-
Nah, he said
to
good, not
learn,
great.
of
He
have
was
his
everything's
ears
fine.
and eyes wide open and looking.
What do you mean good,
for
not
techniques
great?
and
What
looking for
for
things
Bobby?
that make coaches
Oh
better.
my fucking god!
How
bro.
often do you have a chance to
cheers,
take advantage
Bobby,
of all
cheers.
of that at 50 years old, which is a puppy?
Bro, you don't take
Yet
three
he's had
franchises to fucking
25
conference
years
titles and you're a
being
fucking
around the
bad
kinds of
coach.
things that
Holy
he's
He didn't
had.
say
shit.
bad. He said good. This is fun.
Bro, you got to be a great coach to do that. Who goes to three different
I know,
franchises
but
and takes
everybody
them
has
to
entitled to their
conference
opinion.
titles?
It's
Well,
Dallas, so they're
Bobby
going to
can
shit
go
on
fuck
us.
himself. He don't know what he's talking about.
When he called his mother.
I would ask
And I've
if Bobby,
heard
feel like I'm
the
watching a
other
funeral
end, and I was
speech.
listening to Shotty. And one of the things he
Thanks,
said
Bobby.
to his mama is, Mama, I'm going to get what Daddy didn't get a
Somebody
chance to
just
get.
referred
Or got
to
a chance, but
Jerry
didn't
as
get.
Sleepy Jerry.
And I'm going to get a
Sleepy Jerry.
Super Bowl if it kills me.
He would cry over anything, Jerry.
And his mother, of course, was
They're
emotional.
referring to
This
Biden.
one will
You
be
reminds
me
for
of
the
my
very
dad.
first one.
He did the same shit during that
Will
training
be
camp.
for
Is that
It's
Gene,
better to
his
be
wife right there?
naive.
I don't
Better
know
to be
what you call
naive
instincts.
instead
I
of
don't know
negative
where
all
you
the time.
come.
Bro, fuck you,
I
Jerry.
really wouldn't dare try to tell you how Jimmy Johnson got here. I don't want to go into all the psychological
He's gonna
stuff
talk
that
for
caused
30
Barry
fucking
Switzer to be
minutes.
here.
Barry Switzer was a bad hire, Jerry.
Or Chan Gailey.
Chan Gailey was a bad hire.
But it wasn't just about X and O's.
Yes, it was.
And it
Yeah, it
was
was.
about things that were all melded in with.
Okay,
with
very
some
cool,
of
Logan.
life's
Thank you.
experience.
That was
Using
Brian
my
Schottenheimer's
We don't care
mom.
about your
Let
life
me guess,
experiences,
Bobby.
Jerry.
She
We just
wasn't
care
a
about
good
winning
comes
Super
to
Bowls.
play.
Let me guess, Bobby. She was a good mom,
I've
not a
read
great
where we
mom.
didn't have but 4 or 5
fucking people.
interviews. It's ridiculous
Jerry,
to think that you can make a
senile
decision
billionaire.
to
Michael,
coach the
what's up, brother?
Cowboys relative to the number of interviews
This
that you
is a
might
shit
have.
show.
He's a
I knew I
product
risked it
of
going
a lot of
live with all
time.
my Eagles.
No, I
subscribers.
mean,
Jerry, we're the
Misplaced time
laughing stock of the
or
NFL, Jerry.
skewed
You just
time.
look so fucking pathetic,
I've
bro.
read where
You're
I
not
don't
even
have
watching it. How do you know?
for
Are you watching
risk-taking.
it?
Oh, I'm watching it on YouTube
If
right
you
now.
really knew
Okay.
my score sheet, you would see that I've taken
You
more
put a little
risk in
makeup
the
on him,
last
he
5
gets
years than the
passed for a
rest of my
corpse.
life put together. And sometimes I don't know when I look in that mirror why the risk is taken.
Oh, Jesus,
it
Jerry,
there.
stop.
That's
me
all
say
Name of the
this.
game is winning championships,
It was
Jerry.
a
That's all I
huge
give a
risk to
fuck
get
about. If
involved
you
with
can't
the
do that
Dallas
for me,
Cowboys.
get the fuck out.
Huge.
I want to see
And
if
a lot of people that
all the
quote,
boys are
unquote,
there, right? If they
didn't
ask
understand
the
or
hard questions.
feel like it could be done.
The hard questions.
I spent a
Is
nice
Dak on the
Tim
panel?
Cowlishaw, you'll
Is he on
remember.
the
No,
panel?
no.
I
He's
spent a
in the
nice part
crowd.
of my early 4
He
or
should
5
be on
years
the
with the
panel
Dallas
and
Cowboys
allowed to answer questions.
Yeah,
defending
he-
why
he
not
wants no
Coach
part of
Landry
that.
and defending why
Just
Jimmy
like
would make a
He
good
wants
coach.
no part of
I
NFC
think one time I said he was
championship
worth
games.
5 Heisman trophies to be a good coach.
Here we go. We got to go back and tell the Tom Landry
Did I
story.
know?
Here we
No, but
go.
I
We
knew
got to go
Jimmy.
tell a 1990 story
Okay,
again.
had I
Quit
interviewed
milking
countless
this shit, you
thousands
I
of
screwed
coaches?
over
dumbass.
Jimmy. I screwed
No,
over
not at
Tom
all.
Landry.
So what I'm here to tell you is
What's up, Art?
this
Arturo's in
was
the
a
house.
thorough
Boy, you've been
process.
milking these stories for fucking over
Shaded
30 years, bro.
Some- yeah.
by whatever my experiences
Come on,
have
Fisher,
been.
get on him.
Shaded by my
Fish
experiences
out.
with Stephen
Fuck
and
yeah,
Charlotte
light
and
him up.
Jerry.
Jerry,
Shaded
don't we
by
know that
many
you're full of
things.
shit?
We all are involved in this. And what I would say for the fans,
Yeah, good luck, League Commander. I know.
Is
Bro. I
that-
know you're upset. You're just laying into us
Yes.
this morning.
to some, and it might be couched as
I got a bobblehead to give away,
a,
League Commander,
less than
for Super Bowl.
glamorous hire.
It's one of the
What I would say to you
the Hogs.
is I got here taking shots and not shoddy shots.
Yeah, you haven't taken a
I
shot
got
with
here
the
taking
Cowboys
shots.
in years.
Good things have happened. Let me tell you something.
He sucks, Bobby
There's some
Murphy.
stuff
You know
to be
he
had
sucks.
over there where not many people go. There is. Don't think for 1 minute I won't take a shot. This was risky. This is risky. But by the same token, I often can
They're
take
so
a
caught
risk
up in the
when
lure of
someone
the
has had over
Cowboys
30
that they
almost 30
forget that
years.
we haven't won nothing
Get
in
my
30
numbers
years.
mixed up. But almost 30 years.
The limelight is, I mean, the
of being
luster
around
is
coaches,
gone.
of being around players. That's 2/3 of his life, and then the rest of it growing up in a football-oriented, NFL-oriented family, if you will.
Jerry.
I think this might make something special. So I'm all behind what we're, to say the very
Placing the bet on
least,
their ass, Drew. They better be.
Clarence, for your benefit, I'm all in here.
Well, you ain't all, Jerry. You ain't been all in fucking over a decade.
Jerry just fell asleep.
Clarence Hill, All City deal.
There we go, Clarence. Let's see
brought
if
up
you
risk.
asked
You also
anything.
brought up Super Bowl. What about this move gets you to the Super Bowl? Because that's what the fans are talking about. And Shotty, by the same token,
Shotty.
question for you and for Shotty.
Shotty.
What difference can you make from the Mike McCarthy era?
Don't say
from a
that,
cultural
Vinny.
standpoint
Don't
to
you
get
even
Super Bowl?
dare say that.
Mike's one of my best friends. And when you talk about what Mike and this football team has done over the last 5 years, it's been some incredible success.
Regular season.
One of my greatest strengths is my ability to
Hey,
create
Drusella, how are you?
relationships that are built on trust,
Oh my God, indigenous.
respect, connection. I'm really good with X's and O's, but I'm great with people.
We're just not good at the Jimmies and the
And-
Joes.
The type of men that we have in this locker room are excited about that.
There
And
you go.
so
That's better, Vinny. That's better.
I think as we build this thing out,
No,
as
Vinny.
the culture
Stay
comes
away from
together,
Drew.
this
He's
team,
toxic.
that's where I feel like my greatest impact will be felt. With the relationships, the ability to communicate. I've always been someone that was very good at having open dialogue, hard conversations, and I've always tried to paint very clear, bright lines.
Oh,
And that's what I
Randy, I
plan to
have
do
your
as the
address
head
already.
coach of the
I
Dallas
just
Cowboys.
need what size
Oh.
hoodie you want and what color.
Extra large, and I want the darker
Excuse me,
of the
speak up.
blues.
Navy blue?
The navy. Yeah.
You want the regular logo or the 3D logo?
Mike
You
McCarthy,
just it doesn't
All right,
either one.
There's some
okay.
good stuff
All right.
here.
Yeah, okay.
one of them,
I'll work around
Was
you.
Brian-
So
Okay, XL,
he did leave. Mike
Navy,
McCarthy's a hell of a coach.
and I'll pick
He
the
left
logo,
some good
Randy.
stuff
All right.
here.
That's
It
all.
was time for a
All right.
change.
I have your address from the last time. It's in the system. So
I've heard it criticized.
Okay.
We spent 5 days getting to come to that decision.
you should email me
We
your
did.
cell number so I could
Come
just
to that
text you. It's
decision.
just easier if you want to
Okay,
do that.
I'll do that.
Yeah, and I'll text you back.
One of the reasons we came to that decision is because there was this decision available to us as well. One of the reasons.
no, because y'all missed.
Shotty has fantastic support.
He waited too long.
Why isn't
to come
Stephen
up.
Jones talking? All due
Key
respect to
players.
Jerry, he could seize up at any
Real
moment,
support.
and we need to hear
And
what
they've
you
seen
think.
him when he was
This is
on
bullshit.
top.
We're gonna
They've
know
seen
in
him
2
when it
weeks, 2
didn't work
months when
out
they
so well.
start free agency. We'll know what.
That's an
Stephen thinks.
advantage here.
You let me know,
That's a
Drew,
real
'cause I got to.
advantage.
I think. I'm going to have to order them
That
anyway.
was big. That was real
I'll
big.
have
This
yours
process,
out. I'll have the other guy wait.
Read where
The
this
4X, I
where
have a
it
black
looked
4X.
disjointed, it looked untimely, it looked those
Well,
kinds of things. The very nature of the process, the time after we played our last game, and you've all heard me talk about how I felt about Mike McCarthy as being a good coach. But that time, those days,
He
to
talks out
reflect
the
with
side of
him
his ass,
and
though,
go
people.
through.
He does. He never
many
answers the
things that
question
we-
directly.
Here's my problem, and I don't know if I
I'm willing
ruined
to
by
talk
talking
about
over Jerry. So if it is, I can
That
mute him.
caused
Let
us
me
to
know in the
arrive
chat. If I'm talking,
at
is
that.
that horrible?
No.
But what we
Well,
have
well,
is
for
an
you it won't
opportunity
be,
to
but
take some of the
for
very
them it
best
might.
things that are here in place, Mike's doing, some of those very best
He's
things,
like, this is my problem. I'll mute it.
change some of that.
My problem is, like, when Jerry does that, but I don't want to talk over him. He's still going, but I just muted that way I could talk for a minute. My problem is he's talking down. He doesn't realize it, but he's lying to the fans of the Cowboys because your actions say one thing and your words say another. You want to win, but you won't spend money in free agency. That's the difference, people. Dallas is as good as drafting as anybody, but they don't spend like the Eagles spend. The Eagles put their money where their mouth is. Okay? You're going to make mistakes. Look at the edge rusher that they got, Bryce Huff. That was a mistake, but they're winning despite because they went out and spent money in other areas. To me, he talks out the side of his neck. He wants to win. He's lost, people. Jerry is lost.
Then to take a head coaching job, why are you ready now?
Let me tell
I
you
think,
something.
over the past 19 years, when that first was afforded to me, when I was first-time coordinator with the New York Jets, and a bright spotlight, I just there were things that made me pause. Now, spending the better part of the last 19 years learning, listening, doing, I've learned things, almost more things that I don't believe in than things that I believe in. Todd, I've always tried to be someone that moves around. I want to be around incredible coaches and players and try to learn from them. And so going to Seattle was, I would say, critical to my development as a coach. Pete Carroll challenged me in a number of ways. He challenged me to continue to be authentic, to continue to dive into the relationships that matter, which is your coaches, your players, ownership. He challenged me offensively, to be honest with you. He challenged me with, hey, what do you think about this scheme? What do you think about that scheme? You know, and the McVay-Shanahan style was taking off. And in Seattle, we were competing against, you know, Sean and Kyle. And so he's like, he was pressing me. So I just really feel like things changed for me when I went with Pete.
Hit the road, RHE
learned a ton
experience.
from my dad and all the coaches, Mike and
it's my channel.
Steve Spurrier, all those guys. But Pete Carroll had a huge impact on me.
We can't get rid of this punk.
And it probably sharpened my edge and sharpened my view on what I want this opportunity to look like. And that was a big change for me today. And one that I'm excited about moving forward.
And then for Stephen and Jerry, what do you guys need to do differently to support Brian and to end the 29-year job that you guys have?
I can get one, though.
Between going to a Super Bowl.
If you'd rather have
well, I think we,
hoodie,
you always have to evaluate, where,
you'd rather have Kelly
where
Green
it didn't go right
last
year. And obviously, we're also evaluating where it didn't go right, in terms of, this drought that people say we're in terms of a championship game or a Super Bowl. And, we just have to continue to make this roster better. It'll certainly be something that Jerry, myself, Will and his staff, and now Coach Shotty and his staff, we'll sit down and take a look and see what we have to do better. I think we got a lot of great pieces. You ask why Shotty? I think Shotty's the perfect combination of keeping some continuity, but also affecting change, and we have to support that as well in terms of being behind him and doing the things he wants to do.
Jimbo, I can't talk a little.
Walked in Shotty's shoes.
You can turn on the TV and watch a press conference.
And myself as well, working with Jerry. Shotty did the same with Mike. Would he do things different? Is he going to do things different than Mike? Absolutely. I'm convinced of that. And, I think we got a great plan on defense. I think we got a great plan on special teams. We're putting that all together. That has to come together as a staff, and certainly Shotty leads that. And as he said, his best, some of his best characteristics are communications and working with people.
He thinks we're stupid.
I see that. I've taken that in. I've gotten more respect through this process with him, and also talking to other men about the job. But certainly
he looks as old as his damn dad.
That's what I
real
said.
Deep dive.
Jerry looks better. They don't believe that they are in a drought.
Personnel together, whether it be through the draft.
They're looking at 12 straight, 3 straight 12-win seasons.
Typically, that's not been the way we've done this team, but we'll certainly look at it and.
They're living off of the luster of the 70s
or whatever. They can't see the forest through the trees.
Good football character people with some of the men we have in this room right now.
Go on a hopper twice, Bobby.
We have a lot of great players on this team, and certainly no one has excuses. We had a few challenges this year on the injury front, and that's why we think we do need to keep some continuity.
All the answers that are on the TV, they're going
when they're looking for a coach out there is looking. What's in the best interest of the quarterback. Certainly that played a role here. And, Dak's not making any coaching decisions, nor does he want to. But I can tell you every team who made a coaching decision was looking at how they solved for the quarterback. And, that's how you win in this league. I think we've got one of the best, if not the best, in terms of our quarterback. And he's the ultimate leader, and we just have to continue to put the pieces around. And we're not naive. I know our fans. They're not going to believe, and there's going to be pressure until we get the job done. And certainly we didn't get the job done this year, and our ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl.
What
I've never seen a man more driven than Jerry.
I'll be long gone.
This is huge to him. To go get this championship, and I know Coach
Well, then go spend some money.
Believes the same thing, and I know.
Sorry, am I allowed to talk?
Our players sitting in the back want it. I mean, they want it. They're driven to get it, and we've got to get the right people to put around them. We'll have turnover in our roster like we do every year, and our goal is to put together the best roster in the NFL.
Now
Steve
is when you
Spurrier
grill
told
him.
me, I called him and
Nobody
asked
wants to
him
hear you
about
right now.
Shotty as a ball player, how he got there.
Say, all right, you just made a
He said, well,
comment.
to start with,
There's no way you can win
he
in this
threw the
climate
first touchdown pass
without going into free agency
in our
and filling
national
some of these
championship
holes.
season.
You can't draft your way
I
to
got
a
mad
Super Bowl.
at my Heisman Trophy winner under center.
Mahomes don't grow
and
off
sent him out
trees.
there and damned if he didn't throw the touchdown pass.
Shut up, Jerry.
But he told me a lot about Shotty. I called Pete Carroll to talk about Shotty.
And then Pete Carroll threw him under the bus and wanted the job.
Why'd you fire Shotty if you fired him? How'd that happen?
You feel
So we
bad
got
for
into
Dak,
that.
Isaac?
Real
I don't.
good.
I can
Shotty
think
has
of
been
60 million
effusive
reasons
about
I
the
don't.
Yeah,
impact
exactly.
of
He's
not
fine,
only his father,
Isaac.
but
He's
Pete
totally fine, bro.
and the people
He needs to
that
open his mouth
have
and
shaped
criticize
him
these two
along the
geezers.
way. But it's kind of interesting. Will and his staff, they go to the next door
he does
neighbors of
look
these
like,
players that we're
what's his
drafting or
name from
looking at
X-Files,
drafting and
Bobby?
get that
What's his
next door
name?
neighbor to talk about them at that time. Boy, you need to do that when you're dealing with a head coach. Now, I didn't have to go to the next door neighbor with Jimmy.
Ultra, who was that?
I didn't have to go to the next door
X-Files
neighbor
actor?
with Barry.
I think he was a
But,
sex addict
man,
or
I've been to
something.
this guy's next door neighbor. Personally. And I like
David
our
Duchovny.
John Machota with the
David
Athletic.
Duchovny,
For
that's
Stephen,
it. Yeah,
we
Mulder,
know that
David
you met
Duchovny.
multiple times with Brian, several hours. Can you just kind of go behind the scenes and share some of the
Johnny
stuff that
Matches.
was talked about during that?
Johnny
and at what
Machota.
point you guys kind of felt comfortable making him the next head coach?
You know, as I said, and certainly I probably more than anybody have respect, you know, for what Shotty's role was. I mean, Mike was our play
David
caller. He
Duchovny.
was our head coach, and then he was our play caller. And, you know, Shotty was there to support him as the offensive coordinator. But I think some of the most important things for us after you get to know the man better and you see the energy, you see the way he can communicate with Jerry, with myself, with the room. You know, certainly that jumped out at you. But the bigger thing, as I mentioned, you know, we certainly want continuity, but we also want change.
What's up, Freddie Trejo? What's up, brother?
You know, just felt like, you know, we need something that's going to freshen it up.
Exactly, Bob. Nobody wants to lose
Mike did
their
one hell of a
their
job here. He's the winningest coach, I think, in the history of the franchise. You know, had an unprecedented, you know, 3-year run, winning 12 games. So, you know, Mike did a lot of great things.
God, it's going to be a
But at the
long
same
4
time,
years.
You know, we just felt like, Jerry felt like, I was supportive
back.
of it.
He's
You know, that we
excited.
did need
God,
change. And we wanted
man,
to hear
bro, this is-
what, how that
Again,
was
it's all
going to
come down to what they do,
you know,
if
it's not
anything, in
just
free
the
agency.
X's
Me and my dad
We
were talking
obviously
about
went
this. It's
extensively,
like, man.
through the X's and O's, but we also
Yeah, Stephen,
you get
I
into
mentioned
the
or whatever,
schedules, you
doing
get
something
into
free
how
agency. Like, you
get
got
your
too many
players
fucking holes,
motivated,
bro.
how
You ain't going
take
to fill
care
all
of
this
your
shit with
players.
drafting.
All those
Yeah,
things
you got
are,
to.
you know, part of being a head coach, and it's a lot. And that's
Shotty.
why, you know, a lot of people sometimes scratch their
Shotty.
head, why would you go with a first-time head coach?
I would do it,
that's been the way
Clemente.
of the league these days. Most are going with these
Me neither,
young
Flip.
offensive wizards that hadn't been head coaches. But I think we got a better version of that because of Shotty's experience. I mean, everybody's mentioned it. 25 years of
I'm hearing
NFL
it in the
coaching
background, Wade. Just
and
mute
a whole
yourself.
lifetime of being around it. He played the game, you know, at a high level of
Damn, one of the guys
competition in
says, I
college.
forgot my damn
Certainly
shovel.
that
I got to get this
made an
bullshit
impression
out of
on
here.
him, but it was real important. And the more we met, the more we wanted to meet. And I think that was helping us, you know, come to a conclusion on what that decision should
Dallas
be in
has
terms
had 7
of
coaches and
you know,
only
Coach
5
Schottenheimer being our
playoff
next head
victories in
coach.
28 years.
And then for Brian, real quick, just what was that moment like when it was Jerry or Stephen or whoever told you, hey, we're moving forward with you, you're the next head coach?
Humbling. There's so many incredible coaches in this profession at every level. Again, I think I look back on my journey and, you know,
That's what they're doing.
the fact that I'm sitting
Isaac.
up here with these two men in
That
front
was
of
what
you
Stephen
guys,
Jones was doing. The air
is a
quotes.
great
He was
lesson
like talking,
for
doing that.
coaches. It's a great lesson for my kids. For some of our players about persistence.
Yes,
And
Sarah, 100%.
You get knocked down, you get back up, and you keep working. And I'm incredibly honored to be sitting in this chair. because it's such an incredible profession with so many great coaches that when I got the news, I really couldn't speak. I really couldn't speak, and immediately I went to seeing my father's face and knowing how proud he would be of me.
Randy, Drusilla says, please give Shotty a chance.
Right there in front of us. and that was
I don't have
that
any
was
choice.
very emotional.
I don't think we have anything against Brian Schottenheimer. It's not his fault.
I said,
No, I don't
That's
have
all,
any-
and I think Wade knows that.
First-time
Wade
coach.
knows.
And I believe
You can
We're
have
frustrated.
Tom Landry
Hanging around the rim.
reincarnated, and he's not going to win
I
with
think
this.
we've got in place.
We need players, people.
I think we've got in place a team.
That's why my money's going on the
can
Eagles
get
in the
there
Super Bowl.
right
I'm
now.
sorry, but I'm not.
We
Going.
need players, and we also are going to need a
Coaches
quarterback.
tell me that we're wanting the job.
Yes.
I would
You're
I would
right
agree
there.
with that too.
Right there, this, that, and the other. So I started
We're gonna have to get
explain
lucky to
him,
win
but
anything.
tongue in cheek, that I
Well, you've been
just
lucky in
couldn't
28
take the
years.
risk
That's the
of
only
going with
problem I have.
someone that was doing it for the
But
first
I don't
And
think
time.
the
the-
coaches really don't matter.
And
I
then proceed to
like
go
him.
over
So
you're
the
right.
things
I
that
don't
we
think the
talked
coach
about right
matters. I mean,
there.
if you get
And,
Dion, it's going to be a circus.
That's how he found out.
I like
He started,
Dion, and he'll
in
ask.
my mind,
You
finding
can only
out
get
I'd
a
be-
blood.
we'd be at
You
our
can't get blood out
Monday
of a
morning,
stone, people.
coaches' meetings.
Sorry, you can't.
And
You
we'd
know,
be sitting there, and
as good as the Eagles have been,
this year more often than
you
not,
can
I'd
see
have
what
my head
Saquon did
down
for
and
him.
Just be sitting here
you
listening.
know, Saquon just
And
they
all
put
of a
him
sudden,
at
that
another
shot would
level.
Pop out with some ago.
Sometimes you need special players to help
Hell.
you. That's all.
That's pretty good.
Yasin, what's up?
This is kind of a somber morning. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, this is their time, Yasin.
Okay.
The Eagles are
Those are
barring
the kinds
injury,
of
they're going
things
to be
that give you an
dominant.
advantage
Good for them,
if
man.
you've been
I don't know
have
what
proximity.
I don't have any hate
And
anymore.
that was an edge to
This
go
is what
along
it
with
is.
the many boxes over here that were not checked. But that was kind of the edge. Nobody, no situation checks all the boxes.
Look at Jerry wearing a double-breasted. I guess they're back
Nick
in
Harris
style.
for Sartillegram. This first one's for Jerry right here in the front.
No, he's all in on that suit.
Right here. Right here. You obviously know the man to your right very well. When you talk to fans, fans are super impatient. They see two NFC East teams playing yesterday. Obviously, the drought that we've spoken to. I know you've spoken to fan sentiment, but why should fans buy into Brian Schottenheimer?
Good
Well, you
question.
have touched on one point. Our fans have been very patient.
I like buttered sausage.
Very patient. And through you to them, I want to tell them how appreciative
He's got
that
Gary
I am
Busey vibes.
of the support
Damn.
and of their interest in
I like
the Dallas
buttered
Cowboys.
sausage.
Now, there's a whole bunch of those fans that look and are interested because they want to see me grovel, whatever it is. But I'm not putting that up there much. But to those fans who have been with us, this decision to bring Shotty in is risky. It's not a Hail Mary at all.
I subscribe to
in
your
any way.
channel, Sarah.
But it's founded
Thank
over
you.
some very unique, as I started off, unique sets of circumstances. I know how much our fans are into the Dallas Cowboys. And for me to be into it is no solace at all.
I wonder if they checked out his
We're
junk,
interested.
Bobby, if he measured
They're
up.
interested. I'm interested in getting to those playoffs and winning. This is the best way that we can go to the
Sorry,
playoffs
Fred.
and win.
My next one's for Brian, if I could, really quick.
Jerry, this is not the best
you've worked
way to
with
go to
Dak
playoffs
Prescott
and
for 3
win.
years now.
It's
Obviously,
not.
he had a lot of support for
He's
you. What do you feel like you
Lucifer
two
talking.
can work
I like
together
this
to
kid,
unlock
Nick
even more
Harris.
of his game?
Well, before I respond to that, I'd like to go back with one thing, Nick. Like, I'm not doing this by myself. I've got the incredible support of Jerry, Stephen, the Jones family.
Jerry
The young men that are sitting behind
Jerry,
me,
this
we're
just
doing this
isn't the
together.
way, Jerry.
So, my message to the
I don't
Cowboys
know.
fans and community is
I don't know
we're
what
going to
you
do this
think,
together.
bro.
And we're going to build this thing the right way. We're going to get the culture right.
You got
The X's
all
and O's will
these
come,
Hall
that
of
doesn't
Fame
matter.
players around you, and I know they
but
tell you
the
like you're
support
fucking
and the work
wrong,
ethic of
bro.
these guys that sit behind me,
Look at,
incredibly
look
humbling
at Dak.
that
Oh, man. I'm tired of that cocksucker face.
Derek
me, it's
Eagleton
gonna be me
behind
and the
Dak,
staff.
not hugging.
Your second question, I apologize, was?
You've worked with Dak for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
What do you
sorry.
feel like you can get out of him? What do you feel like he can get out of you as well?
You know, iron sharpens iron, and Dak and I have an incredible relationship, just like I have an incredible relationship with all these guys. Dak and I know how to push each other's buttons.
Bobby, how much
we
you
know how to,
you know, it's like Norm Hitzkiss was saying. We just had to make Dak
hard conversations.
We just had to pander
I think
to
about
Dak.
in
We just
training
had
camp
to pander.
Last year. A ball got intercepted, and we kind of had a thing in place where it was like, if you throw an interception, you come out. And so I took Dak out, and he's like, what? Like, he pushed back. He's like, and
let's get the gleam.
The
All right, let's
competitor in
go.
him is special. And so I think he and I working together, along with the rest of the guys, putting together the system. There'll be tweaks. There's going to be changes. But he's the type of worker that changes an entire organization. And
look at
I think he and I see the game of football offensively very,
is that
very
Brandon
similar.
Cooks behind him?
And we'll have tons of
He gone.
communication moving forward on
What you doing there?
some of the thoughts of things we want to do, whether it's tempo or, you know, some of the different things we're trying to do with our play action passing game, the run game, things like that.
I like tempo, Wade.
He's easy to talk to, and I love and respect him along with all those guys.
Hey guys, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com.
Patrick no
Two
C.
questions.
That's
The first I'll
Ultra's
lead
boy.
to Shotty. Kind of circling back to what Jerry and
I
Steven
met
both
him
said
at the
as far
Star,
as
Randy.
freshening
He was
things
all right.
up, looking for
Yeah,
a
he was
change.
nice.
From a head coach perspective, that's going to key in on the offense.
Couldn't have
Generally
my cell
speaking,
phone out, so
how do you
couldn't.
look to move forward as far as modernizing the
Oh,
offense?
they won't let you tape inside.
What does that look
yeah,
like
not
under a
so much.
Schottenheimer era?
Yeah,
Certain
again, I go back
areas.
to my days with Pete. I think if you go back and you look at some of the things we did in Seattle, obviously the starting point for me would be things that our players do well. You're always going to start with that. If your system's not flexible enough to do what your players do well, then you're probably in the wrong business. But I'm a big believer in cut splits. I'm a big believer in shifts and motions to distort things. We're going to do a great job of marrying our runs and our passes and
See, I like
make
what he's
those
saying
look the
there.
same.
He's a big believer in shifts
I'm
and
proud
motion.
to say
We don't
that
do
We've been
shifts
talking
and
two
about
different
that.
times in my career as a coordinator, we led the league in rushing, and they go hand in hand. The running game and the action passing
Yes,
game
exactly,
go hand in
Sarah.
hand.
They will not. They will
but
not.
I would say
pay him not to coach.
there's a tempo element that
Brock
we're excited to mix in. That
we had
our players.
Oh, I might be
have
doing
all
something to Brock
shown
Hoffman after the season. He did email
an
me,
affinity
so
for, and
I don't
let
know.
me expand on that a little bit.
Stay tuned.
Why do players like tempo? Well, they like tempo because it allows them to play free. You guys have heard some of the play calls. Dak could rattle off four or five of them right now.
We had
They're pretty long.
Catboy for
so
10
when
years.
you go fast and you're playing on the ball, these guys, it's a little bit more like pickup basketball. You know,
Looks
and,
like they're two different colors. Yes,
those
Isaac.
would probably be the
Very
biggest
observant.
things that I would say from an offensive standpoint.
Kind of like a snake.
From a personnel and roster building standpoint, salary cap management as well for Jerry
Get 'em.
and Steven.
No C.
You guys talk about learning some hard lessons, especially from 2024, depth issues once you guys were ravaged by injury. Just as far as salary cap management goes, free agency and the like, looking in the mirror is one way that you can learn things. Another way is to look at what your opponents and enemies are doing and try to kind of take from their strategies. When you look at a team
There's
like
Lucifer.
the Eagles, for example, do you feel there's anything that you guys can kind of take from their strategies, seeing as they handle free agency a certain way and they're back in the Super Bowl this year, that kind of could work for the Cowboys going forward?
Yeah, I think you certainly look at that. I think you look at your competitors in your conference.
Yeah, look at the team
what it's
wearing
gonna
green.
Take, to have success,
Jerky.
whether that's a 49er team or whether that's an Eagle team.
Yeah, there you go.
Obviously, the
Worry about
49ers,
the team in
had
the division
injury
that's going to
bug situation.
your
and,
ass.
You know, in this salary cap era, if that injury bug hits you hard enough, it's it can be difficult to overcome.
He's making the injury thing.
But at the same time,
we all know that, Steven.
That's the
We
goal,
know that
is
part.
to really do a good job with your draft, college free agency. That should be where
That's
your
not
strong
enough.
depth is.
Stop 'em. Answer a
Obviously,
question.
this year we were counting on
That's
playing
not
those
enough,
guys
Stephen.
right away.
The draft alone.
And they had to jump right in, and as the injuries
Royals
came, more and more
working.
had to jump in. And but I think the bigger thing here is just where can we, which has been our goal in the past, where can we, in free agency, take care of some core needs so that when the draft comes, you are able to take the best player on the board, not unlike we did with CD.
We'll start
we weren't
doing it.
necessarily
It's been
in
a
that
couple
draft
years
looking
since
for
you've
a
done
receiver.
that.
But CD Williams, CD Lamb sitting there.
Who the hell's CD
and
Williams?
It's obvious what you do there. And I think if you do some things in free agency,
We just drafted Billy
like
D.
we've
Williams.
done in the past to really take care of your roster before the draft comes around, you have a much better chance. But certainly, you look at the blueprints. Everybody does it different. Kansas City's doing a great job bringing young guys along and, those type of things. And like a team like Philadelphia, you certainly look at the way they're doing it, where they went
But you
out
can't
and,
win like that.
did some
spend
things
money,
with some veteran
Jeremy.
players. You have to take a look at that. And then you got to find exactly what fits your core, your DNA with our players and what we have and what gives us the best chance to compete
You ain't
against. Certainly
changing.
you
We're
start
not
with
gonna-
your
they're not gonna
division, the
spend money.
Eagles, the Commanders and the
Billy
Giants.
They're not going to spend a
Williams,
damn dime.
Stretch that out, and what does it take,
Good Lord.
to beat the 49ers, to beat the Rams? Certainly those are all things that come in the mix.
Freddie
I'll answer this.
Hey, Stephen. Pay for proven
it's
talent.
money management.
Yes.
Cap is financial.
Here we go.
When I bought the Cowboys,
Here we go.
several of your
I'm out on
counterparts
this shit.
rode over with me on this little jet airplane, rode over to my home in Little Rock, Arkansas. And we got off the plane and rolled up there to pick us up was a 5-year-old dirty Ford Bronco.
Who cares about Little Rock, Arkansas?
And they got off
God,
and said,
what are we doing?
this doesn't make a lick of sense. You just bought the Cowboys and you're flying a jet and you drive up here in a 5-year-old dirty Bronco. And I said, it makes perfect sense. You can't have it all. You got to sacrifice someplace to get the other. If you try to have it all, you can pay the fiddler when you've used up your credit. That's salary cap.
Wade just ran
That's
off the
salary
road.
cap. Not
Wade's
one
in a
that
ditch
we
right
won't
now.
hear. Oh, what
Bro,
about that
I'm
team? They've
just
got the
listening
same
to this
salary
old
cap
fuck
issue.
talk.
You
It's
do,
just tired
and
of
they've
me.
got that done.
I am
Well, it's
too. I'm
because
tired
all
of both
teams
of
are
them.
different, and they've made those decisions as they've moved along. We want
Thanks,
to
Rolo. Appreciate
improve
everybody in here
significantly
watching our misery.
how we are doing the cap.
Only
The
us,
cap
West Virginia
takes a
country
big
boy.
hit when you're invested in players
Bobby, he
that
would
have
be
injuries.
He would be a hoot to
significant
party
injuries.
with, no doubt.
So the cap can take a big hit at that time, cap management, but it's still there. It's still there. It's as real as if it was never there, the availability of it. And so if somebody thinks it's daunting, I try
Maybe,
to answer you
Vinny.
when we're talking. And so you hear me talk about, well, we have to manage the cap. Why not this free agent? Why don't you go do this? Not necessarily why didn't you go do that with that, or the timeliness of how you did it, but why didn't you go do that? That's all management, okay? I want our fans to know that I can manage really good.
Yeah.
I do real well managing. I do real well managing.
Here we go. Flexing.
I know that bank account's full. That doesn't mean you got money. It just means you hadn't paid your bills due 60 days from now. So you got to look around the corner. You got to be good at it, and you got to live with the time that you're looking around the corner.
Said.
Okay? And so that's what you
know the
see
bank
here.
account's full, but
No
that don't
apologies.
mean we have money.
Everybody has
Come
to
on,
do it.
man.
We obviously hadn't done it well enough.
There we
I think
go.
our first Super Bowls
There
that I
we
was
go.
involved in were before the cap.
Bingo. You're
And
not
so
a good
we
in the
have
cap
to do
era.
a better job in that area. Can we? You bet you can. You bet you can. Now, all in, we just spent some of it for Dak. We spent some of it for Lamb. We spent some of it for several of our players.
Those players aren't enough, Jerry. Those players aren't enough.
An anticipation of what we weren't going to spend or not spend in the future. All of that said, we Stephen, me, spend a lot of time in this area. And I'm not talking about just sitting there in the office on a chalkboard. I'm talking about 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't asleep, and you're sitting there doodling that cap.
Brad Sham, 105.3 The Fan. Brian, how long have you been thinking about and prioritizing being a head coach, and did this opportunity surprise you?
Humbly speaking, Brad, when I was probably 20 years old, 22 years old, I was throwing the first touchdown pass of the 1996 National Championship season. I actually had a card in my wallet that I had written down a goal. And it said I wanted to be the youngest head coach in the history of the National Football League. I think at the time it was David Shula. And that's when I started thinking about it. And that's why when a couple of these opportunities didn't work out for different reasons, I thought for a while it might not happen. But it's been a lifelong dream. I mean, how do you wake up every day in a household with your mentor, your best friend, see the sacrifice and the work ethic that he does? Someone told me, it's a cute story. They told my dad, they said, "Hey, is Brian getting into coaching?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm trying to talk him out of it. I don't want him to," and his mom sure doesn't want him to do it. But I did. And I think it was his really good friend, Bill Cower, that said a year or two later, he said, "Marty, you're missing the boat." He said, "The fact that Brian got into coaching is a compliment to you because you made it fun for him. He respects you, and he's following in your footsteps." And so it's been a lifelong dream, a lot of work. But like I said, that note card was in my wallet at an early age, and it's been a long time coming, but it's here.
Did this opportunity surprise you?
I think as the conversations went and we talked more and more, no. I think, there's a ton of reason. Stephen's already touched on it. The continuity through change. I know the players. I know the building. I know our strengths. I know our weaknesses. I know our issues. And the more and more we got into conversations, sitting around and just discussing different things, I wanted even more. And here we are.
Let me say this. We wanted Brian to call the plays. We cherish his relationship with our players. We want him to call the plays.
We need chainsaws, people. Chainsaws.
As my mind and our mind would drift around to alternatives, I believe, he doesn't have to speak for this, but I believe if he doesn't call the plays, he's probably not with the Cowboys. He doesn't have to speak to that, and he probably might not know himself.
They
really.
are, Vinny.
Anyway, talking down. But I know one thing, one of us, I think Jerry, said, have you ever thought about that if we've kind of gotten over in this area of potential head coaching with Brian, to some degree, the conversation he's referring to. And Jerry said, you know something, if we went that way, as much as we've gone down the path, there'd be some heartbreak here. There'd be some knock the slats out from under. I'm just giving you an idea of how the process was going as we were looking at alternatives of other people that might be coaching the Dallas Cowboys.
It is
calling
true.
the plays. So having said that,
The organization.
just to give you a little bit of insight,
Some of the fans.
Brian, I'll tell you this. My lifelong dream was to get involved in sports and pro ball. And my master's thesis was the role of oral communication in modern-day football. Had I not had that dream, had I been sitting there, I was 46 when I bought the Cowboys. Had I not been sitting there for 25 years, every moment.
Nobody
thinking
cares
my
about
God,
this anymore.
I'd watch that.
No, we
Hunt,
don't.
And he'd be up there with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I gotta.
I don't want to hear about
While I
your
was
dream.
doing
I
that-
want to hear about what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm going to mute it for a
Ball.
second. I'm going to mute this for a second. He's still talking, people. He's talking the same nonsense. We're missing nothing. It's not about your dream, okay? All right. I've laid it out. I'm telling you, this is what happened. Yeah, they got lucky early on. They drafted phenomenally. They got a Herschel Walker trade that'll never happen again in history. Okay. Since then there's a draft, a trade chart because of that trade, basically, so you don't get taken advantage of. Up until the point where New Orleans gave their whole draft for Ricky Williams, that was stupid. But regardless, you won some Super Bowls. You made generational wealth. You're a $13 billion organization. Now you've lost your way. You need to get back to the way you were. You need to risk it for the biscuit. Spend some money. You may be wrong.
Having said that, you know, since your last NFC Championship game, this is the 7th coaching hire you've made. That's a unique situation
I
among
sometimes
GMs.
wonder
Others do
if
not
they're
get
afraid
that
to
That's a
ask
good
them
question.
the
How
hard
would you tell the
questions.
fans again how this unique system is working?
Well, it makes it
Very
unique
shaken.
because I've been with the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have had 7 coaching hires, and it happens I've been here for those 7 coaching hires.
Well, some of the time you were on an alcohol
I'm not so sure, you
coma
know,
with
average time a head coach coaches in
strippers and
NFL is about
hookers.
3.4, 3.5
Yeah,
years.
and making babies with
That
other
coach
making
in
people.
NFL
babies with
average
other
time.
women. How does
I'm
G
not
feel
for sure
about
what
that,
it
Jerry?
is with the general
Yeah.
managers. It could
Was
be
that a
less or
family
more than that,
decision?
but it's a big turnover, especially the last 10 or 15 years with you there.
Exactly.
Okay? And if I could ever think, the story I just told Tim,
One guy said, "How do you
I
know Jerry's
lived,
full of
I
it?"
got up and I
when
went to
Jerry
work
is
and
talking?
I lived on that
Yeah.
hope and that promise. And I had a lot of gas. And my point of telling the ping pong ball and bat story was I can live in those dreams. And I live real good there. But I'm practical enough to know you can't eat those dreams. So you got to go put some hard action to it. Life is real. But boy, those dreams are real there too. I'm dreaming of the Cowboys playing in a game like the one I saw last night when the Eagles were sitting up there with those Chiefs.
Yeah,
I'm dreaming
baby.
of it. I will always dream of it. I've never quit dreaming about it.
Just hope it's
I
not
want that.
a nocturnal emission.
Yeah.
Jane Slater, NFL Network. Jerry, to a lot of us on the outside, it did look like this process took a bit. What was the reason for that?
Jerry
Did you
wants
ever?
to win, but I think he's lost.
Was there a
sight
point
of
during your
what-
conversations with
what
Mike
to
that you
do
thought that
anymore.
he would stay? Was there something that came up in those conversations that you needed to change? And what did he say, or some of the coaches that you reached
Just
out
looking,
to,
Drew.
give you confidence
Since
that
'89,
this was the guy that you needed, particularly given some of the criticism about
since
some of
'89, the Eagles have had
decisions
8
and-
head coaches. 8.
I wasn't aware of any clock.
And we've had 10, right? About that time.
I don't know. He said 7, but I don't know. Buddy Ryan, Rich Kotite, Ray Rhodes, Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, Pat Shermer, Doug Peterson, Nick Sirianni.
Be sitting up here. And by the way, you say, well, if you'd watched the clock, you wouldn't be sitting up here
It's not
explaining
about
why
the
you hadn't
coaches
been to a
necessarily.
playoff game in all those years, too. I understand. I
It's
get
about
one of the fun
the front
things
o- it's
about
the front
this
office.
deal
We
is
all know that.
you get to start a new clock every time you line up for the year. And so I really can block
it's about
out
the front office getting their act together.
not
That's all.
block out the practical things, because I don't care if it is the new year. If they're about to take your house away, that'll go from last year into this year. So there's reality that goes with it.
I'll be right back. I gotta go.
So
I'll
at
be back
least
in
I'm sitting
2
here because
shakes.
I know how to deal with reality. Okay, and so to answer that question is simply, it never occurred to me there was a clock at all. When I was trying to buy the Cowboys, I think I did read someplace Tim, you might have remembered or what have you. I read someplace where that process and all that was going on was maybe creating some time problems relative to the clock of the NFL or the clock of that. I've really not had the experience of that being the determining factor. I heard this year that we didn't get Dak signed quick enough. Dak, you're sitting right back there. You want to stand up and tell him you had something to do with that?
No, thank you.
Didn't get Lamb signed quick enough. Okay, there's so damn many more things to think about than that clock. It's unbelievable. So I hear it, and I understand the point. But I think it is fair to say that that clock doesn't affect me that much.
Coach Schottenheimer, I love the way that you've reflected, you've sort of manifested how you want to get there. We know that Dak's big on that as well. How do you want to be remembered when you leave the Dallas Cowboys one day?
Number one is a champion. And number two is someone that created one of the greatest cultures professional sports has ever seen.
Ed Werder, WFAA, back here in row 4 next to Kalishaw. Back with the Dak Prescott delegation. Brian, my question is, Dak's missed a large portion of 2 of the last 5 seasons with injuries. It's going to be, I think, 32 when the next season starts.
He's a young 32.
What's your vision? You talked about how important the quarterback is, all of you have in these kinds of decisions.
Ed Werder.
What's your vision for him going forward?
I think when you talk about Dak, number one,
He
I've had the best seat in the house for the past couple of years in terms of
just
the
joking,
first year,
people. Just joking.
year one as a consultant, watching.
Garbage.
Literally,
There
I remember
he
the first
is.
day I was in the building, he came up and introduced himself, said hello, and we were just talking, and people that we mutually respected, and we talked about that. But, you know, being around the last couple, years, my vision for him is he's one of the best. And through the coaching that he's going to get, through the hours and hours and hours of time that he and I will spend together, he's going to play elite level football, and he's going to lead us to championships. And that's because of the way he works, the way he prepares. This guy prepares different. Ed, he does. He prepares different. This guy, I'll be coming down late at night and trying to get something to drink, and I just have to move around because my eyes are bugging out from watching video. And he's still in the building doing his, I guess it's hot, cold therapy, whatever that is. I don't do that. But we got the right guy. And working closely with him and these other players, we're going to win. And we're going to win a championship. Otherwise, why are we doing it?
Dak, you're sitting right behind Ed Werder there. Reach up there and squeeze him on his neck and show him what a little problem is with your health. Feels like.
Alrighty.
Wow.
We're out of time. And thank everybody again for coming. Thank Jerry, Brian, for being up here for over an hour. So we'll continue.
Fucking more fucking. It's just a joke.
Thank you, everybody.
Picture.
I didn't see nothing, didn't hear nothing to get excited.
All right, well, that was that, okay? We'll hang on for a little bit. I would say this. I don't think it's fair to criticize Brian Schottenheimer. We haven't seen nothing. Whether you're a Dallas fan, I don't think it's not him, man. Again, he's a coordinator. He's 51. He's played a lot. I did a video on it. He's had a lot of experience. You know, he's a motivator. We don't know, A, how he's going to be as a head coach. B, is Jerry and Steven going to go out in free agency? Nobody's asking them to do a lot. Everybody needs to understand we have a lot of free agents ourselves. So we need to re-sign our own some of them. And we could do shows on that, right? We could definitely do shows on that. Who we want back, but we have to get a few back. But it's about who you're going to get outside of the building to help going into the draft. And then it's really just about winning football games in the playoffs. That's what it comes down to. Am I right, Randy? I mean,
Yeah.
We can
I
talk until
agree.
we're blue in the face about what they need. It's about winning playoff games. You know?
I feel for Schottenheimer because I think he's been put in a bad situation.
But he looks genuinely happy. You know?
Yeah, he does. But you know,
Jerry's even confirming in front of Brian. This is basically a shot in the dark. That's basically what Jerry's saying in front of everyone, and even including Brian. This is a shot in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Now, I would tell you this. I'm not here to... I'm rooting for Schottenheimer. Why? Because I do like his father. His father had a great record. I don't care what anybody says. You know, he didn't win in the Super Bowl. Right? Yeah. He had some championship losses. Yeah, the Ernest Biner, remember that? That was, I believe he was the coach.
Yeah, and then they would have went to the Super Bowl if
Think about that. Ernest Biner was 5 yard at the 4 yard line, right? Wait, or something like that. But anyway, I like Brian Schottenheimer. I like the Schottenheimer family. But I don't think it's nothing to do with the coach. But I will tell you this. This is just me. I think he's shown more heart and I've seen more emotion from his players than I ever saw out of Jason Garrett. And I don't think I saw it under McCarthy, really. You know, so we'll see. You know, we have a long way to go, people. So we'll see. Actions speak louder than words. You can sit there and say, we want this, we want that. We'll see. Make a trade. Yeah, go do something to show the fans that you're serious. Because if not, we're going to light your ass up all year. I agree with that, Drew. The coach is a product of the franchise's culture. Exactly. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, Drew, Dallas franchise got comfortable with making money rather than winning. I know that sounds weird.
No, that's what they did.
But I think they won, right? They won. They focused on the AT&T. And if you ever get a chance, Drew, go to an Eagle game because they're probably going to bust up on Dallas for the foreseeable future. Go to Dallas for an Eagle game. It's beautiful in Frisco. You stay there at the Omni Frisco. You walk around. They have all these different Mexican restaurants. It's very inexpensive, believe it or not, to eat there. It's not horrible. Beautiful. They've built up that area, that AT&T. They've created a monster as far as money flow. They really are geniuses. But when it comes to football, they've lost their way. So they need to find it or nothing's going to change. Pills are good, definitely. So, Wade, like everybody loves when you riff. So go ahead, man. The floor is yours. I want to get out of here in the next 6 minutes. So go ahead, man. Just say whatever you want to say.
It's yeah, you should have heard me this morning. You know, man, bro.
You're down.
I'm tired of this shit.
I know.
I just Michael Irvin's right. It's just we've missed the train. We've missed the train. We're stuck in it. We're stuck in our ways. We are settling for mediocrity, being comfortable. I don't think Jerry and Steven truly. They probably don't. I don't think they even know how to win.
That's what I think it is.
Maybe they do want to win, but in the aspect of they're so stuck in their ways, and they just don't know how to build a championship team. They just don't.
No.
You know, that's a lightning in a bottle. I mean, let's just be honest. That 90s Cowboys team was lightning in a bottle. Teams like Kansas City and the Patriots were looking for teams like that for years. And when they're there, they're there, and then when they're gone, and you can't get it back.
It's not easy to get it back. That's what I tell the Eagles
Look
fans.
at the 49ers. They've been trying to win ever since 94. They just can't. They just can't get over the hump. Sometimes you just got to enjoy the ride when it's there, and then when it's gone, it may never be back. We're in a bad spot. We got a new head coach, we got an injured quarterback, and we got a team full of holes. I don't see a good future. I don't see it. I foresee the Eagles pounding the shit out of us next year. Pause.
Pause. That's a big pause. All right, Randy, what do you think, man? How you thinking?
I think we do have to give Schottenheimer a chance, but if the culture stays the same way that it always has been, I don't think it's going to matter. I think that they're trying to pull the wool. Jerry sat there and said, I want to win as bad as anybody. Well, if you do, you're going to have to change the things that you've done over the last 29 years.
Yeah,
that's my problem. And I don't know if they actually see that.
Well, he did make the one comment, Randy, that would lead me to believe that he realizes that he hadn't done a great job. He knows, he goes, there's a salary cap. Obviously, every team has to operate. You can't just spend money and foolishly. I get that. But he basically said we haven't been good in a salary cap era. Well, here's my problem with that, everybody, and you two here. My problem is, well, you have to change what you're doing then, which means you may have to step down as the general manager, Jerry. You just got done saying we haven't done a good job. In any other world, that person would be fired. You just said that you fired 7 coaches, basically. Well, one, not Parcells, but 7 coaches. Technically, they didn't fire McCarthy, so let's just be honest. They're,
some of the media asked good questions. Like, you do see the Eagles and the Commanders and the conference title. Like, what? You can't keep saying, Stephen and Jerry, that's not the right way when Philly keeps getting there. They keep getting there over and over and over again. You cannot keep saying that shit. I mean, you gotta be a fucking idiot.
It's the definition of insanity, right, Randy?
Well, and you can't keep saying stuff like, well, I go back to when I was in Arkansas back in the day.
Cares anymore.
Who cares about any of that stuff?
Those stories are cute, Randy, when you're...
I don't give a shit about 1988
Those stories
anymore,
are
Jerry.
cute in a relative time, from your last Super Bowl. I'll give you 10 years. Those stories are cute. Well, we're almost 3 times that. You know what I mean?
We are long past the 90s, Jerry. Jerry, 90s are over. We live in a totally different world now.
Like in that
think of
movie
it this way. Hey, think of it this way. He went back to
Dustin
1980.
says it's accountability. I agree.
He went back to 1988.
Freddie, I'm giving Shotty
28
a
years
chance.
old.
Trust me.
I'm not 28 anymore. I'm 64.
Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, we're in different times now, Jerry. Last time y'all won, my dad was in his mid-30s. My dad's knocking on 70 right now, Jerry. Like, Jerry, we're not in those times anymore, Jerry. The decades have passed us by. I'm 34 now, Jerry. I'm about to be 35 here in a few months, and I was 5 years old in 95 when y'all won. I mean, dude, I'm about to live an entire life without knowing the Cowboys in a fucking NFC
more
championship.
about the Cowboys history than most Cowboys fans my age.
I've watched every Super Bowl. I've watched every playoff loss.
It was on VHS. It was on VHS.
Yeah, it means something to me. This franchise means something.
But I'm just saying, everybody's got to understand, Drew was upset. He was 5 years old. Now, that's like me saying, believe it or not, that's like me saying, I do remember the Steelers beating us. I was born in 71, so how old was I, That was my first experience. So it wasn't like I hopped on the bandwagon. My father was he was in the military, huge Roger Staubach fan from Dallas. My brother obviously took up with my father, and basically my brother's the one, but it's been forever. you know. So, but Wade knows more about the Cowboys' history than a lot of Cowboy fans who actually remember. You know, he wasn't alive and all this shit. So.
Yeah, in '95, I wasn't watching the Cowboys, but I just knew I do have vivid memories.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're 5, you have little bits and pieces of, you know, my mom and dad screaming their heads off, you know, jumping for joy, you know, in '95 when the Cowboys won. I do remember that. I just didn't remember what was going on because, you know, when you're 5, when you're that little, you kind of just got little bits and pieces of memory. You don't have a true experience of
But
this.
he keeps going back with these stories, Randy, and it's like it
Oh,
reminds me. It reminds me of that movie Stripes. Has anybody ever saw the movie Stripes? You know, you had.
Yes.
I mean, at the beginning, he's with the the real good looking blonde, and he's always
He's
going from job to job to job, but he's real fun to hang around with. He's hysterical, and finally he comes back, and his one job was to bring her wedding dress and dinner home. He had a pizza. Something happened. He dropped the wedding dress in the mud puddle, and and she goes, "John, you're just not funny anymore. You know, like I'm tired of the shit. You know, so it's like, Jerry, you're just not funny anymore."
Yeah, here's my whole thing. We've heard that fucking Bronco story a million times, Jerry, where hey, you can't have it all. You're the fucking owner of the richest sports franchise in the goddamn world. Motherfucker, yes, you can have it all. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it.
I love it. I think we need to get Wade on a pump. Like you'll probably have to write it out, and you'll and I can get it on recording, and I'll just hit it every time we need
I was going off this morning.
Yeah, like a motivational speech. Yeah, like people think that I don't know what they think, but I literally saw him screaming. And Alina, I literally was in a car when he was screaming at Dak's uncle. Literally at the top. I don't know if it was quite top of your lung, but you were loud. Mark was sinking in his seat. Prime Time was turning white, more whiter because he's just, he's Spanish, so he was turning real pale. And I was just like,
I knew it was Dak's uncle. I was about to say, your nephew sucks a bag of dicks. He sucks.
He almost did. You almost did it, Randy. You almost did it. I'm proud of you for holding back.
I don't want to do that, but
he almost did it.
But Dak is a yes man. We know this. Dak is a yes man, and it makes it even more clear. The franchise is also a yes man for Dak because they literally made this move because of their quarterback. They've said that. So all the Dak lovers and Dak supporters, we're gonna ride and die with your fucking quarterback. Y'all love and support. We gonna live and die with him.
Hey, game time could be worse. NFL tells me they're sorry, Sledhead. Yeah, I mean I hear it. But all right, Randy, final thoughts, bro.
Yeah, I don't want people telling me they're sorry for us. I want something to happen where we could get back to the days that we used to have. I don't want to live in the past. I want Steven to go out and spend money. If they don't spend money in free agency, we haven't changed anything. I don't care what they say. I'm not going to believe it until I actually see it. And I wanted to be excited about this team, but I can't get excited about mediocrity. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, if everybody before they get out can hit the like for me, I would appreciate everybody. I appreciate you hanging out. Drew, when I get the when I ship it, I'll give you a text. Stay tuned. I got the travel mugs incoming. I should get them in a few days. So, but yes, I appreciate everybody. How about them Cowboys, right? It is what it is. I like that Dak quest. I do like that, CZ.
Yeah,
you guys might see me later in some form, maybe a live stream, maybe we'll play it by ear. Thank you, Drew. I break your balls because I know you can handle it, but it is what it is. I appreciate everybody who supports me. Full-time job and a full-time YouTubers. It's fun, but it's not the easiest. Sometimes I gotta get my motivation wanders. Occasionally. So, Randy, I will get that out tomorrow. It'll be in the mail, so you'll probably get it in maybe 3 days. So hopefully by the weekend you'll have it. All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you, Bobby. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.